241 and a quarter pounds. 241 and a quarter pounds for the challenger, Luis King Kong Ortiz. Here is the hard-hitting and undefeated WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Deontay Wilder. 214 and three-quarter pounds. 214 and three-quarter pounds for the defending champ.
Heavyweight title on the line as Deontay Wilder puts his WBC belt up for grabs for the 7th time against the undefeated Luis Ortiz. And you know, 85 years ago today, King Kong premiered in New York City. Well, Luis Ortiz fighting for the first time in the Big Apple. This weekend, he's known as the real King Kong.
What's up, everyone? So the fight is tonight, Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz. This is scheduled for 12 rounds for the WBC title that Deontay Wilder holds, and it's going to be at the Barclay Center in Brooklyn, New York. This is going to be airing on Premier Boxing on Showtime. And also brief info on the challenger, which is Luis King Kong Ortiz. He weighed in at 241 pounds. He is fighting out of Miami. He's from Cuba, currently ranked number 3 from the WBC. He had the former interim WBA championship, and he had a reported amateur of 341 wins and 19 losses. His current professional record holds at 28 wins, 24 KOs, 0 losses, and I believe 2 no contests. He is 6'3", 6 feet tall, 3 inches, and has a 78-inch reach. He is a southpaw. As for the champion, as you can see, he is a WBC champion, Deontay the Brown Bomber Wilder. He weighed in at only 214, significantly less than Ortiz, but he is much more taller, stands at 6 feet 7 inches, and has an 83-inch reach. So even though the difference in weight is quite noticeable, he is just as large in terms of width. So I don't think it's going to matter too much about the size, though most of his opponents, if not all of his opponents, outweighed him anyway. So the other things from Wilder is that he is fighting out of Alabama. He holds a WBC title and has defended it successfully 6 times since he won it by beating Bermane Stiverne in 2015. On top of that, the Bronze Bomber also has a bronze medal that he got in the 2008 Olympics, hence the name the Bronze Bomber. He has an undefeated record right now of 39 wins, 38 knockouts, and 0 losses. He is only 32 years old versus Ortiz, who is 38 years old. So there's a 6-year difference, his senior. So Deontay Wilder right now currently has the age advantage, the height advantage, reach advantage. But Ortiz does have some good things I'm going to touch up on. Unlike Ortiz, Wilder is an orthodox and Ortiz is a southpaw. Did come in lighter, but the reason why I don't think it's going to matter too much, like I said before, a lot of his opponents already outweigh him anyway. So this is something he's not used to. Besides, he is much more taller, so he can flicker a jab much more. Should be able to flicker a jab better and connect. So they asked Ortiz after the weigh-in. I didn't include it in the video. They asked him if, because Wilder came in lighter, does that mean anything to him, and is that going to change and affect his game plan? And he said no, because he trains very well and he's prepared himself properly throughout the whole match, so he can adapt and overcome any obstacles that Wilder can face him with, which is good. It shows that he didn't just have a one linear method of training, that he was open to adaptation, which is very good for a level of elite fighters that Ortiz is. Even though he doesn't have as many wins or fights, in actuality, even though Wilder has more professional fights in him, you can argue that Ortiz has more experience because he's gone longer the distance. In actuality, I'll have a quick description in the video that you can see. Wilder does have a height and reach as well as an age advantage Ortiz, but Ortiz has more pro experience, like I mentioned. That's because he has more rounds under his belt, a total of 123, while Wilder only has 113 rounds. Even though Wilder has more fights, that's because Wilder has a higher KO percentage, sitting at 97% with 39 wins versus Ortiz 38 knockout percentage with 28 wins. Now this is a good heavyweight fight because they both want to fight each other. They were actually supposed to schedule to fight each other earlier this, I think it was last year, but the fight never happened because Ortiz failed the drug test. Actually, I think this is the second time he's failed the drug test, and Ortiz wants to beat him. At the end of the day, they got the fight going, and Wilder wants to beat him as well because a lot of people think Ortiz is the better of the opposition. So you know, it kind of goes both ways. So right now the way it looks like is Ortiz wants to be the best, while Deontay Wilder wants to prove he's the best by beating Ortiz. So they both kind of need each other at this very moment. It is a very good fight. Wilder arguably has more pressure than Ortiz, but I think that's due to Wilder self-proclaimed that he's the best. Evan's gone on to say that he's greater than Mike Tyson, saying he would beat him if they have ever fought in a match. Many fans want an anticipated bout between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, so they can unify their belts, and at one point we'll have an undisputed champion in the heavyweight division. But before we get there, he needs to beat Ortiz first. I don't think this is going to be an easy fight for him to get past Ortiz, because Ortiz can box very well. He is from Cuba, so everyone that knows boxing knows that Cubans have a very pure and precision style of fighting and boxing. Now, a lot of them tend to be very evasive and use lateral movement, but Ortiz doesn't do that too much. He's very good at breaking down his opponent, picking him apart, and that's not necessarily too good for Wilder. So because he's carrying a lot of power behind his hands as well, and he has a good style to challenge Wilder, Wilder's going to need to be smart. I think the difference in this kind of fight is going to be if Deontay Wilder's chin could hold up, and if Ortiz's stamina will last. For me, that's the difference, as well as who can outbox who. You know, they're both heavyweights. We both know they got power. We both know they're big. We both know they can bully each other around. But I think those are the two big points. I'm suspect of Wilder's chin, and same thing with Ortiz's stamina. So I think that Wilder, he'll need to use his long reach and height to jab his body, hit him with stiff jabs when he's throwing combos, so he can break Ortiz combos, and don't let him get too close. Ortiz is going to be quite the opposite. You know, he's going to want to cut off the ring. He's going to want to trap Wilder in corners or in his own combinations and break him down. You know, he's going to want to precision time his punches so that way he can knock him out swiftly and he doesn't need to do too much work. I have a feeling that's what he's going to try to do because he looks big, but I also seen him train very well, so I think he might try to use a lot of his energy, but he needs to be careful he doesn't make the mistake of using it all too early within heavy punches, because he's going to run out of stamina. And if we all are smart, then he's going to make sure to hit that body early so he can rip him apart later on. I don't think Wilder's chin is great, so he'll need to keep his guard up throughout the match. They are heavyweights, by the way, so either one can end the fight in one punch. I think if the fight does end in a knockout, it'll happen early or late in the fight. but I wouldn't be surprised if the fight goes 12 rounds. I am picking and think Wilder will win a tough fight and retain his belt for his 7th title match. But you know what, you never know. I'm just being hopeful, and I think that's the best for boxing at the moment. I would be happy with either one winning, but I would rather have Wilder win. I'm a fan of both fighters, and I just can't wait to see the fight. Let me know who you guys think is going to win, and make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video. Alright, peace.